Hey guys, it's theScore. I'm here with Shaunz after an unfortunate loss against Fnatic. You guys are pretty much out of the playoffs right now, but nevertheless, the whole season I think was a pretty good accomplishment, right? Or are you sad that you're out?
It's 50-50 because we obviously had like third place at season for the first team, first time the team played together, so it's pretty good. But then after the goal of making good regular season standing is to get good in playoff. So if we lose in playoff, then it means that it's not a good season, but it's a good start for what we want to build.
So we should talk about the games, right? Game 1 and Game 2, I think were a bit one-sided towards Fnatic. What do you think was like the main? Was it like the draft maybe didn't go off, or was it like the players not feeling like 100% today? What was like the problem with those two first games?
All right, so obviously like we had a lot of scrims during those 2 weeks, and well, then the main thing that remains that team fighting is good. So like we were winning or losing with team fighting, and we realized that when we have Azir, it's really good in team fight. With Gragas, like Alistar, Nautilus, all those champions, just team fight and you win. But the thing is that in LCS, obviously it's different from scrims. And the fact that Azir can get alone mid-priority is not even relevant because, for example, the first game that Kassadin was on the side. And since the LCS, you play a little bit, like more calm. Then after Kassadin gets scale, Ezreal scale. And then after, like, you lose. So the thing is that we tried a 3-1-1 scenario with Azir mid, and they played a 1-3-1 with Kassadin on side. So first game was already lost when they started to scale because we couldn't match, and it works in Scrim but not in LCS. So, and second game we said, okay, like maybe we played it wrong, just go for the same, and then like we played Lissandra, we had Azir against Lissandra, and Azir should punish Lissandra, but in LCS it's different, and Lissandra gets the roam, TP, and snowballs the game alone. So both games, like first game was lane swap, was pretty even until one fight. And the second game, they just snowball out of the 2v2 and stuff. So third game, I said, all right, guys, change it. We have only one card, so don't spam and don't have regrets not trying other stuff. So we stopped making Azir and tanks.
So yeah, third game, you mentioned it already. You guys picked more of like a snowball-oriented combo with like an Elise in the jungle. What made you pick Elise, and why did you guys prioritize Gragas so much?
All right, so as I said, in the lane swap, Gragas has a good time against Elise because they never face each other, and that's pretty good. While when it comes into the 2v2 scenario, like Elise will like check Gragas level 3, 4, and Elise has the priority. And then as you saw, Elise Maokai against Gragas Nautilus, Elise is stronger than Gragas, so obviously 2v2 is probably stronger, and we got double kill. Then this is how it is. And Shook is a champion, he's a player. He's a player that is really, really good at snowballing and pressuring, and you're not briefing the opponent. So when, like in Gragas, we had good results on scrims or like think good champion, but in LCS, it means he cannot pressure. So we just like wait for team fight, which is not the main strength of Shook. So we said, okay, just go Elise and try our best, and we forgot about Gragas. And Spirit is a bit the same like Shook, and he picked Gragas, and he got also like a bit trapped into the champion. So I think like in this draft, I don't know how it will be against Origin Unicorn and so on, but jungle pressure, if both junglers are like good at aggressive, like they should not pick Gragas at all.
All right. I actually wanted to ask you, like, what do you think of Gragas right now? I think everyone has seen some tweets where they, like me included, saying that, yeah, Kindred, Graves, and Nidalee are a lot better right now than Gragas simply because they farm a lot better and they have more early game pressure. Like, do you agree with that statement?
Yeah. So I think Nidalee obviously is a bit the cheat code of League of Legends because like you can just pick it and then you will win the game. Also thereafter, so I saw a lot of discussion about Kindred. Yeah. The thing is that Kindred now plays Devourer. He's really strong early game because like level 3 red buff, like this combo is pretty insane. Then after I think Kindred falls pretty hard in mid game because like what can you really do? Like you don't have enough damage yet because you are stacking your Devourer and you are getting like item just to be tanky. And then after, once you hit the Devourer, you're actually broken because it's like a bit mastery with Devourer. It's like all the champions scales really well, and they even nerfed, if I'm correct, Devourer. Yeah. So then Kindred is a bit like, I think, like a Caitlyn, like insane early, meh mid game, and really, really good late game. So we never thought she was the best, even if she's okay. And then after, like Spirit likes Graves a lot, and so he Shook. Last game we leave in Graves, so it was like okay, good, but we had like sometimes you have to leave things to have a good draft, and yeah, I think like this game is all about like either you 2v2 and then the stronger jungler matchup wins the game, Either you get swap lane and you can accept to have like Gragas, Sejuani or other champions. But if the jungle has more pressure, wins the early game, good ganks, then it snowballs out of control. So I think jungle early game are still really strong.
So, Korea has been probably playing like the best League of Legends right now in terms of like overall strength. Like all 7 or 8 teams are really strong, and we see like a really slow-paced meta over there, right? Teams farm it out generally, and Kindred has like high priority. So is Ryze suddenly and Azir. Do you think that the slow-paced meta in like that region is actually like a lot better for those champions? And that's why Azir didn't work out in this series, because Europe is a bit too fast-paced.
Maybe not in those games though, because like I think
In general, yeah, in Europe.
Yeah, in general, yes, I would agree. But I think Azir has like insanely bad win rate, if I'm correct. Yeah. He was 0-7, and then the first game he won was against us. It was Rocket against us, but we were winning, we threw. So it's not even like a correct win for Azir. So I just think like, yeah, overall this champion, I don't know if he's good or not, but in scrims he's like really performing. In solo queue he's performing, and LCS he's boosted, you know? Like that's the truth. So joking apart, like it just shows that all the champions like from Korea, maybe the slow pace game can work on and then makes the champion scale. But I think it's more like both teams accept each other to not be too much aggressive in early. Yeah. So it's good for both teams. So I don't know if, for example, if Europe face Korea and go into the 2v2, obviously Korea has a shot of winning like any team, but maybe it's going to be in our favor. Because I think you like watching the replays and stuff. Obviously, as Vitality now we lost, so I can't say like we can be the best or anything, obviously. But I think like the team that are remaining can compete, not as underdogs. Like it's gonna be, for me, it's even if Korea sounds better, looks better. Yeah. I think we can have a shot because of the way we also play. Like we are not just copying; we're actually playing a correct game. So I'm looking forward to MSI. Yeah.
I mean, European lane swap is still the greatest, right? We're actually the region that knows how to lane swap, unless some other regions. But fair point aside. So we talked a bit like before the camera were rolling a bit of Ryze. We haven't seen Ryze today, but Ryze has been like on the rise after like 2 weeks or something. And do you think it's gonna be like a high contested pick throughout the whole playoffs, or what's your general take on Ryze right now?
Ryze is obviously like, it's weird because he got nerfed, he got like a meh change, but like it's always like that in League of Legends. It's like a champion is good, he gets nerfed, he's going into the ground, and then after people randomly pick it, like obviously it's often in LCK. Then after, suddenly this champion is insanely broken and so good, we should break it, ban it. Yeah. So I think Ryze came a bit too late because we were screaming in 2 weeks with all the teams and stuff. So we were like Europe versus Europe, and then after we went to like 1 or 2 days. And we saw Ryze and said, but now we don't have scrims anymore. So, and then like no one is confident. So maybe some teams can pull it off, but I'm not really sure like how it'll be effective. But it sounds good. Like if we had 1 more week, we probably would have trained Ryze to see how it goes, and probably would have prioritized it. So let's see how it goes.
All right, that's enough talk. I think for like the meta stuff, always really good. Last prediction: who's gonna win the playoffs in Europe?
Tough question, to be honest, because. I really don't know, because it sounds like for me H2K is the best, but I think G2 style clash with H2K better, so I think G2 might have a shot. And
so you're saying that Fnatic is gonna lose against G2?
No, obviously not. I mean, I can't say that because it's really hard to predict because you don't play against all the teams, all have different style. For example, we beat 2-0 Fnatic on regular season, we lost in playoffs, so it's hard to predict if you take those stats. So I just think like every team has a shot, and it's more about who got the better practice and show it up than other teams. And I think that meta switched a bit, like really hard these 2 weeks. And G2 last time were a bit like doing well into those drafts. So I would consider G2 as an edge, but I still think H2K is pretty good. So I would honestly think G2 and H2K will be the finals, and then I don't know. But I think Fnatic showed up, so we cannot underestimate Fnatic at all.
Fnatic definitely showed up and took the win. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this loser interview. Very good insight on the meta, and I'm pretty sure the 1 or 2 things have been learned here in that interview. And if you want to check out more stuff, theScore eSports.com has your favorite players all interviewed by me. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, and we have a new app. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time.